Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are on day 18 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. Can you believe we're already on day 18? It's going by so very quickly as it does this time of year. So if you don't want to know what's in day 18, pause this video, save it for later because I'm opening the rest of it. And today we have some more sequins. So it's a really pretty, almost emerald green with a little bit of an aqua iridescence to it. So I think what I'm going to do with today's sequins, you can use it to embellish some of the past cards that we've created, but I'm going to create a different card. I'm going to use the die set from day 17, and I'm also going to use the die set from day 12, which is the little drink one, and I'm going to create a shaker card and put those sequins in the shaker window. So I have some white cardstock here. I am taping them down because I want to make sure that that glass or that jar stays centered in my little frame there. Run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine, and then I can take those pieces apart. Make sure when you're taping your dies down, you're putting that tape where you don't want, on the pieces of cardstock that you don't want. Sometimes when you're die cutting, you get a little bit of an impression, and we don't want to see that tape impression on the front of that window. So I'm measuring that window. I'm going to take a piece of acetate and I'm going to cut it to be just a little bit smaller than the edge of that piece. It can be even smaller than that. You just want to make sure that it completely covers the window for your shaker. I'm using some Barely Art glue and a fine line bottle to glue that down. You can also use some double-sided tape if you want. Typically, I'll be doing other things while my glue is drying, so I don't mind waiting for it. But because we're gluing it to acetate, it is going to take a little bit longer to dry because it's a non-porous surface and it's only drying from one way. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm also going to glue down the straw and the little rim for the top of the glass. I didn't use all of the pieces for this particular glass. I just used the straw and the rim, and then I also have a lemon die cut to the side, and I'm going to glue that together as well. I added the yellow sequins from day 9 I'm going to use that as well as the sequins from today, mainly because I wanted to introduce another color. And even though that sequence has an iridescent look to it, there wasn't really any colors that made kind of a natural sense for the citrus wedge for the top except for that lemon color or that yellow color. So I have beeswax as well as saffron here cut out to layer together for that lemon piece. I'm going to use some foam tape strips on the back of my shaker window here to create that shaker base. I'm only using one layer of them here, so I'm going to get some movement with my shaker bits, especially the top ones, but I'm not going to get all of them moving around because this is fairly thin. If you wanted it to be thicker, you could double up. So once you have one layer down, you can take the backing off of that foam tape and you can add another layer to it. I didn't want to create too much dimension with this shaker window, and I didn't want my card to be front heavy. So I figured it was safer to just do one layer. And I'm just doing kind of a pinch of each one of those colors. I'm a little bit heavier with the green because I want to focus on that color because that is today's color. And then I'm just adding a little bit of the yellow to mix in with it. And I love the two of those mixed together. I think they're a really pretty combination. Now I can take the backing off of that foam tape, and I don't take it off before because I don't want a chance that when I put my sequins in there that I'm going to get them on top of the adhesive. It ends up being more pain than it's worth. I have another piece of white cardstock to put on the back of there. Now, so I have white on the front of my shaker and white on the back. Again, I didn't want to introduce any other colors, and I thought the yellow was going to get lost because I have a mat here with yellow, and I thought the waterfall color was going to get lost because that's the color that I have die cut my straw in. So if you have more colors in there, you can make the back of it a different color and introduce that color there. I like it the way it is, but I just wanted to mention that you can opt to change the color of the back there if you want your drink or whatnot to be a different color. So I set that aside to dry, once again using that Barely Art glue to glue everything together. And while that's drying, I'm just going to create a sentiment here. So I'm using the banner die from day 4. I have the happy birthday sentiment inside of it, and I'm cutting out some more Waterfall Cardstock in my Platinum 6 machine. And once I have that cut out, I'll take that out of the die and I will glue that down to the base of the card. Now, obviously, this card would work for many different sentiments. You could do cheers, you could do thanks, many sentiments would work here. I just thought this one was fun and went well with the drink as well. So once that is dry, or while that is drying, I'm going to add a little bit of Stickles to the top of that lemon wedge just to add a bit of sparkle to it. This is one of those things that you don't necessarily need to do, but I really love the look of it. It gives that lemon a bit of a different texture on the top layer than the bottom. So here is our final card. Cute little shaker just to add a little bit of movement, and it's nice and festive. And you, like I said before, the top parts of those sequins move, the bottoms kind of stay the same, but I also wanted to leave a little bit of the quote-unquote drink in the glass while I was shaking it. So this is a fun thing that you can do with any sequins, and you can also take some of those sequins and scatter them on the card base too if you wanted them around a little bit more. Thank you so much for joining me today for day 18. I will see you tomorrow and we'll find out what's in day 19. I hope you have a fantastic day.